I need to invest in a phone mount. Okay, so I'm back live again. Hold on, gotta get back on the road. Okay, so hey Cynthia Mayburner, hey Auntie Roz, I'm glad you guys can join me this evening. So we're on our way back home now. I'm just leaving mom's. I'm just leaving mom's place. She decided she was gonna keep Gumball, and I gotta find my way out of here. Okay, cause it's late. I gotta hurry up and get home. Yeah, I want to hurry up and get home, and shit, I need to. Okay, yeah, so I gotta hurry up and get home so I can get to sleep. I'm not gonna lie, I did not want to leave. I didn't want to leave my baby with my mom, not because anything bad or anything. It's just that I really do love having my daughter with me. You know, it's peaceful knowing that my daughter is safe when she's with me. But my mom does know what she's doing, and she has way more time on her hands than I do. I said, "Oh yeah, yeah, mom got Gumball. I just dropped them off. As y'all can see, that's where I was just leaving from. I was just leaving from mom's place. So now I'm getting back on the road and heading back to Sacramento. But yeah, that's the thing for me, right? Thank you, Mr. Louisiana 5496. I'm gonna just call you Mr. Lou. It's a lot easier. But yeah, I do love having my daughter with me, even when times are difficult, because I at least I have that sense of comfort knowing that she's safe. The only problem is that I do need to work, and having her does interfere with that. But I would rather be at home with my daughter, taking care of her than working anyway. But I also understand that I can't feed them if I ain't got no money. So for me, it's a double-edged sword. But I do love that my mom wants to keep her whenever she can, because again, my mom knows what she's doing, and she has way more time on her hands than I do. Me, I got to, I gotta get it in. I gotta make the money, stuff like that. So when I get off of work tomorrow, when I get done doing Lyft tomorrow, the first thing I gotta do is I gotta send my mom some money so that she can do stuff for Gumball, and if she needs some spending money, have some spending money. So it's the least I can do for my mom, because she has been nothing short of helpful whenever she is available to be helpful, and I definitely appreciate that. Yeah, so because what I was originally trying to do was I was trying to drop her off at her mom's, but her mom's going to work, and whenever I call her to ask to drop her off, there's always an argument, and just a lot of shit I don't want to deal with. But that's my own problem. He said, Grandma said, watch the road. Yeah, not only am I watching the road, this live stream is watching the road. We all can see the road. But yeah, just it's definitely tough being a single dad, especially one who actually is not only around, but is not just a weekend dad. See, that's the thing for me, is I'm not just a weekend dad, you know. And that's not to say that Gumball's mom is not a weekend mom, because she's not. We usually care. It's like this. She's a day mom and I'm a night dad. And it just happens that I'm the one who mostly has her on the weekends. It's an ugly dynamic, but it works. It definitely works. It's a very ugly dynamic. But she's a day mom, I'm a night dad. She has her during the day, I have her at night, and more often than not, I'll have her on the weekends. And the funny thing is that she actually spends most of the money. She spends more money on Gumball than I do. So I really don't have much bad to. I really don't have anything bad to say about her. It's just that sometimes she can be a little immature. It annoys me, but it's just some shit I gotta deal with, because at the end of the day, I made a sound decision to put a baby in her, and that's just something I gotta grit and bear. That's entirely on me. So I really can't complain about it, or rather, should I say, I'm not going to complain about it. Yeah, am I gonna tell everybody that it annoys me? Of course I am, but it's not gonna be one of those things where I'm gonna be a fucking crybaby about it. Like I said, I'm the one that made a conscious decision to put a baby in her. So, I just gotta. Those are the cons that I should have known when I was making the action. So, like John Wick said, consequences. Okay, so we're almost at the freeway. I'm going for the 5. I was going to take the 99, but since I need to go straight home so I can get in bed and go to sleep. Yeah, so I can get in bed and go to sleep. I can just do just that. Who doesn't have a baby mama? Well, shit. I mean, there are a lot of childless men out there, so I doubt every guy's got a baby mama. Some guys got wives that they have children with. They do things the right way. So, I'm just going off of that. But yeah, again, I'm not gonna whine or cry about the bullshit that I gotta go through when dealing with my baby mama. That's just what it is. So, at the end of the day, I still got my daughter, and I'm happy for that. And see, and the funny thing is I always tell people I got 2 baby mamas, because I do. Actually, my first baby mama is more so my ex-wife, because I married her. We were married for 4 years. I didn't just knock her up at random either. We were actually married for a good time. We got divorced for reasons I won't tell on the internet. But we still had a good enough relationship, and me and my ex-wife, we have a decent relationship now. Most days I don't want to talk to her ass either, but that's only because I don't like talking to people. I really only talk to my ex-wife when I absolutely need to these days, because I don't really be having much to talk about. Like, I don't really be shit. If I call myself trying to have a conversation with her, I'll just be boring her ass to death. So it's just like, you know what? better to just not, better to not try to have conversation with her. I was actually in a relationship with baby mama number two, but it was dead from the beginning. It was a dead relationship from the jump. That's why it didn't last that long. But you know, a year later, we messed around and had another child. Appreciate that, Zach. Appreciate that very much. Don't forget to hit that like button, because y'all know I'm still trying to get Google's money. Hashtag I want Google's money. And as y'all can see, I'm back on the freeway. This road's going to get real hectic in a few miles up, because a lot of the lanes are closed. And I think it's going to be one lane for a good minute, so there's some traffic. Hopefully there's not much congestion, because there was a lot of people on the road when I was on my way here, but hopefully everybody got home safe, so that there ain't that many people on the freeway and I can actually just maintain my distance and peace. But that is wishful thinking. So we were when I was on the way to drop my mom off, because I was dropping my mom off and dropping mom and Gumball off, we was talking about my dad and his relationship and stuff. And you know, like, I like to talk mess, you know, about my dad from time to time, because you know, me and my dad, we have a good relationship. It took a while to get there, but you know, me and my dad, we have a real solid relationship. And oh damn it. So when it comes to the women he deals with, I try to keep myself distant from it. So now he's married. He's been with this lady for about 4 years now. You know, he's married now, and I mean, I'm gonna always be respectful, but you know, I'm not going out of my way to have a friendship with his wife or whatever, because you know, the last woman he married, I wasn't very fond of, and I was a teenager when they got married. So it was just like, you know, for me, it was like she made life a living hell for me. And so it's just like, I just avoid all of those situations, you know, everywhere I can. And my dad's current wife, she's actually an amazing lady, right? She's really nice. She loves my kids. She loves my nieces. You know, she always has snacks and stuff for the games and practice. You know, so, you know, there's always, you know, there's mad roses for that lady. But I ain't going any further than the praises that's due, because, you know, I got issues. But I was telling my mom after we had that conversation about that, I was like, look, I don't want to deal with any of the women that he's dealt with, past, present. Shit, it's bad enough I got to deal with baby mama. And my mom just sat back there for a minute, and then she went, man, fuck you. It was like, took her a minute to realize I was talking about her, but she's not a baby mama. Well, she is a baby mama, just not my dad's baby mama. That's because he was married when he was making us. So, you know, that's so, but it was still funny to say, you know, like, because again, like, I always refer to my ex-wife as baby mama number one, even though she's an ex-wife. And when I'm actually speaking directly to her, I always refer to her as wife. I always call her wife. She hates it, but you know, it is what it is. Until I get married again, that's what I'm gonna call her. Okay, these lanes are merging. Are they merging? No, not yet. All right, so yeah, here we are. We are on the road, everybody. It's only gonna be a matter of time before I get back to struggle streaming, but I really do need to invest in a phone mount though. because holding this damn thing is a pain in the ass, especially when I'm doing lifts. So I'm probably gonna get one of those that like stands up, because I don't want to have to put one I don't want to have to put one that actually has to put on the that I would have to put on the vents, because that would be bad for business, as it were. So I want to have one of those that I can stand up, or probably hang off of the mirror. And I'll probably do that sometime this week. I haven't made up my mind on how I'm gonna do things, because I was supposed to have done this, and I just haven't. Because I'm supposed to be going to get my damn passport too, and I haven't done that either. Okay. Yeah, I was supposed to get my passport, because I gotta buy this ticket, because I got the money for my passport, I got the money to buy this damn ticket, but I haven't done either. But I'm gonna make sure that all of that's taken care of as soon as possible. I was supposed to do it this month, but I keep getting snagged by random shit, and it really is annoying me. But you know, again, it is what it is. Some things just can't be helped right now. Okay, so right now, okay, so I want to say we're about a halfway point of being home since this lane merged. So we're gonna have a third of the way. So we're gonna have a good stretch of road here where it's just 2 lanes before we finally get back to the city. Nice and dark out here, hardly any light post out here, so all the light is going to be coming from all the vehicles. You can actually get a good look at the night sky if you get off the road. So like if you go like to like an isolated area, there'll be like, you can be able to see the stars and stuff like that. It's been a while since I've actually been able to do that, and the funny thing is, it was back when I was in the Navy, and I kind of actually missed those times. You know, like those are times that I do miss. You know, about being in the Navy is like, you know, I hated being underway. Obviously, I hated being underway, but you know, nighttime comes. And we're out there in the middle of the ocean. Nothing like going out to the boat deck, going out to hang out at my SeaWiz mount, look up at the night sky and just see all them damn stars. Sometimes the ship will be rocking a little bit, sometimes it'll be rocking a lot, and usually when it's rocking a lot, we staying inside, especially when it's a rainy season, man, because them waves, they don't be playing, man. Them waves do not play. I remember we actually was going around a hurricane. I can't remember which hurricane it was, and we was going through some hardcore ass waves. It felt like we was rising and falling. Like we went through one wave and we went through it. Like, I don't think we were supposed to be able to go through it, but we went through it. And when we got to the other side of the wave, man, it felt like we went on a serious free fall. Like we went it because we went damn near straight down, and then we ended up just leveling out, man. And for some sick reason, after we took that one tumble, it was like things started to things started to smooth out. Like the ship did a little less rocking because I guess we got through the worst part of it when we went through that one wave. Because it wasn't like a tidal wave or anything, but it was a pretty high wave. But after that, we just continued to rock. We still had some heavy rocking, but we went through it, and then it was like while we were still going through it, because we was rocking all the way into the early morning, and I was actually able to sleep through it, and I was like seriously just I was just at peace for the rest of that night. We got up early in the morning. We did quarters and everything, and sure enough, we get outside. We was calm seas and everything. We were moving like really slow. I think we were going at about around 3 or 4 knots, and the water was super still. It looked like glass. Like the way the sun was hitting it, it looked like straight up glass. It was freaking beautiful. So I definitely and I really do enjoy. I really did enjoy those times being a sailor. It was moments like those that really just meant something. It really meant something, right? Those times, they meant something, and those are times that I really do miss. You know, truth be told, if I were in my 20s, I would do it again. I would do it again if I were in my 20s. But, being where I am now and I've already left the Navy and stuff like that, there would be no point in talking about doing it again or all that good stuff. But I really did love the time that I spent in the Navy. I really do appreciate it. Those were good times. Those were fun times, and there was there was some there was some moments and times that I would have not liked to have relived, but I was happy with the fact that I even joined nonetheless. I think I think that is where it all comes together. It's just being able to join the Navy, because there's a lot of people, who wouldn't have had the balls to even do it, and then there's a lot of people who wanted to serve but couldn't for one reason or another. And and I feel for those guys the most, because the guys who want to be there but can't be there, those guys got robbed. And especially like being a sailor, that's an experience. That is an experience. Being a sailor, I couldn't. I don't know what better way to say it. It's an experience, and it's one that if people who want to join but couldn't because medical reasons or waivers or stuff like that, that sucks. I actually got to be there. I got to experience that life. That's a lifestyle. Like, that's a lifestyle that you really do have to be 100% committed to. Otherwise, you just playing yourself at that point. Would I ever go back to the Navy? I couldn't if I wanted to. If I'm being honestly, I couldn't if I wanted to. I'm too old. Yeah, I'm way too old now. You know. But to be honest, at this point in time, no, nah. I'm I was at peace with leaving before I left. And yeah, there's a lot of things that I could have done if I had stayed in. Shit, I probably would have gotten remarried a lot faster. I probably would have had. I would probably life could be better, but then again, it probably wouldn't be better. I don't know for sure. I know, but I do know I would have definitely gotten remarried a lot sooner if I had stayed in, because there was a few ladies who I definitely would have put a ring on after I got divorced. Like I would have rushed their ass to the altar. I mean, shit, I was banging them for a few years. I was like, at that point, might as well walk one of them down the aisle, right? Because I tell you right now, uh, that would have, because the thing for me is I definitely I kids even then, right? When I left the Navy, I was 28 years old, so I knew I wanted more kids then, and so my whole thing was is I'm not getting remarried unless I know I'm gonna have more children, and the funny thing is that I I had been, I told every last ex that I had been with it, like ever since I got divorced, every ex of mine knew that I wanted more children, and only one of my exes gave me a child, and that was after we broke up. But like all of my, but and most of the exes that I was with, none of them wanted, almost none of them wanted children, or they didn't want children with me. So like, cause like one of my exes after we broke up, she was saying that she didn't want any more kids, but she ended up getting pregnant by somebody else. But she said that she had a miscarriage. So I was just like, oh, so you just didn't want kids with me? Some of them didn't want kids, some of them didn't want kids with me. But only one of my exes was okay with having a child, and we had said child, and now she didn't got herself fixed, so she's not having any more kids. Period. Which whatever. She actually just she got married about a year or so ago. So and she was like, no more kids from him, no more kids from me, no more kids. Period. She's done. She just turned 32. She's like, she's off the baby train. She don't want it. She thinks she's too old to have kids, and I'm like, hey, that good for you. I'm happy for you. She had her last child at 29, or well, 28, but she turned 29 a few months later. So I understand her point of view, because I had Gumball. I was 34. I turned 35 2 months after she was born. So I do understand where she was coming from, but for me, I'm okay with having more children, because that's what I want. But for me, like, I also nowadays I don't want to have another baby mama, right? Before Gumball, I would have been okay with having 100 baby mamas, right? But after Gumball, I was just like, I really do need stability. I require it, and I have to have it because of my living situation. I got 3 kids living with me. One's almost an adult, and said teenager has never seen me in a stable position as far as relationships are concerned, ever. Not even with her mom, technically, because the entire time that I was married to her mom, we never lived together. Munch, she has seen me, in stable relationships, but again, those relationships didn't last long. And now I have to have it with Gumball, and she needs that stability, because she's autistic. She needs to know that there are people, that she's in a house of love, right? She already has that at her mom's, because like I said, her mom is married, and they my baby mama and her husband, they have a house of love. They have a stable house. It's just them, and of course, her grandma's there too. So they have, they have that. They have her grandma. She has an older brother there. So there is a sense of stability there. Whereas with me, it's me, my older daughters. My brother is there, and he's doing what he's doing his thing, and I got my niece there too. And unfortunately, my niece's mother is deceased, so it's like she's gonna have to navigate that sense of stability as well. And I'm hoping Michael will eventually get that for her, because she deserves it too. I think my niece does deserve that sense of stability as well. She needs to grow up with it, and I think that will make a monumental difference in the remaining in the remaining of her childhood. But I have to do the same thing, especially for my daughters, especially for Gumball, and especially if I'm going to be talking about I want more children. And honestly, I don't want to get married again unless there's going to be children involved, because I honestly don't see a purpose of marriage outside of that. I mean, if you want to have life, if I want to have a lifelong companionship without trying to bring children involved, then I would probably wait till I'm like 50 or 60. I can't say like my dad did, because my dad was actually married until his last wife passed away in 2021, and he was he was with his current lady now for the last 4 years. It just makes sense. He they're living out their remaining years together. I hope that's how it turns out, and I hope those remaining years are more like decades. Because I would like to see my dad live a long life. I would like for his wife to be there on that journey with him all those years. I think people like them deserve it, because they're really happy, and when I see them together, I'm really happy for my dad, and I would like to have that sort of thing for myself. So when I I would like to have that, and I would like to have that lifelong partner. But at this stage of my life, I do also want more children, and I want that as a whole. So that's my goal as far as trying to pursue marriage, having more kids, because I want both, if I'm being honest, and I don't want one without the other. So I don't want to have kids without the wife, and I don't want to have a wife without the kids. That's gonna be that's my that's what I'm shooting for. And hopefully all of that comes to be. I'm one of the things I'm going to be doing again is I'm going to be doing a better job of taking care of myself, because I want to be able to see 60 or 61. My dad actually turned 61 last month, so I want to be able to do something like I want to be able to reach 61. I want to be able to have my kids see me when at 60 and they're all grown and all that good stuff, except for any kids that I probably have now. Well, yeah, they'll be adults too. Well, the oldest one, if I were to say have a kid by next year, the oldest one will probably be an adult. Gumball, she'll be they'll be a really young adult. Gumball, she'll be a really young adult, because she'll be 15 when I turn 50. Yeah, she'll already be 15 when I turn 50. And that's 12 years from now. 50 for me is 12 years from now. So, I got to do a better job at taking care of myself so I can get to 50. Of course, I got to take care of myself so I can get to 40. More importantly, I got to take good care of myself so I can be able to see tomorrow. That sort of thing is monumentally important. So, you know, I got to do a better job on taking care of my health. That's one of the reasons I play football. So, you know, I can get a workout in and all that good stuff. That's a workout. You know, I got to take care of myself, get myself in shape so that I'm able to play this game that I love. You know, I'm actually glad to tell everybody that I did lose more weight. I'm down to 227. So, you know, I got that going for me. I don't even know why I'm talking right now. I'm over here struggle streaming. And my daughter sent me a text message, so I got to go and check that out. And the fact that I'm struggle streaming right now lets me know that I haven't been streaming enough, because I have not this is actually the first time that I've done a live stream in over a week. Okay, I'm back because my daughter thought it was a good idea to call me. Okay, so all right, since I'm struggle streaming right now, I got zeros. I'm gonna end it right here. Appreciate the people who did come in earlier in the stream to give me a like and all that good stuff. So, you know, kindness is free. I'm cheap as fuck. Y'all have a good night, everybody. And as always, stay mad, my hatters.